The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
Bud Light, for that!
Here you go. You guys just like 6-11 winners to be able to keep it. Thanks. You prefer that.
Well, I made it here in the bleachers. Our bleacher broadcast, first time in about 3 years we've done that. Welcome to the Hyundai leadoff, man. What a great view. Maybe the best view in sports. It's a beautiful day, a little breezy, lots of sunshine, and the Cubs need a win today to avoid the sweep. They're 0-5 this year against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Let's look in on the highlights of yesterday's Game 2 here at the ballpark. Slow start for Ryan Dempster. He would give up 3 runs in 7 innings, but they all came in the first inning. He walked the first 2 guys. Then Andrew McCutchen with his 6th hit of the series, knocking in Aki Iwamura. The big blow, Ryan Church, a 2-run double into the right field corner. And just like that, it was 3-0. The Pirates have scored in the first inning every game this year against the Cubs. Third inning now, the Cubs on the comeback trail. Aramis Ramirez with 2 outs, knocking in 2 with a double. So it was a 1-run game. And the Cubs trying to be aggressive with their base running because they've struggled to score runs. So Mike Quade sending Ramirez to tie the game on the Soto single, and Church would nail him at the plate. It remained 3-2. We would go to the 9th, 3-2 Pirates. And Jeff Clement would add on. He has really struggled this year, but an opposite field homer, the first homer allowed by Carlos Marmol all season long. That made it 4-2 Pirates. The Cubs would come back in the bottom of the 9th. Kosuke Fukudome ripping an RBI triple into the right field corner with only 1 out. Starlin Castro scoring. All of a sudden it's a 1-run deficit and a great chance to at least tie the game. But then Octavio Dotel fans Ryan Terrio, and with 2 outs, he gets Marlon Byrd on a little cut fastball, and the Pirates win. Mahalam over Dempster. Dotel with his 7th save, 4-3 the final. We'll hear from Lou Piniella coming up, but as we go to break, let's look at today's Hyundai dealer of the game, Grosinger Hyundai in Lincolnwood, Illinois. See the cars the experts are raving about at myhyundaichicago.com. The Hyundai Leadoff Man, brought to you in part by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. And by your Chicago Hyundai dealers. See the cars the experts are raving about at myhyundaichicago.com. Man, it's been a tough go. The Cubs have lost 9 of their last 11. Lou was asked about trying to get Tyler Colvin some at-bats and get him into the lineup, and here was his response.
Everybody's trying. Nobody's going through the motions. It's just a question of being more consistent with what we're doing. And once we do that, we'll win more baseball games. And then everybody will be happy. The media will be happy. The manager will be happy. The players will be happy. The fans will be happy. Everybody will be happy.
So that's Lou. Bottom line, who cares about at-bats? The key is wins, as Bob signed some autographs in his AutoZone tip of the day. Don't feed the broadcasters. We're in our own little cage. Just leave us alone today. Tip of the day brought to you by AutoZone. For the auto parts, accessories, and advice you need, get in the zone. AutoZone. See the cars the experts are raving about at myhyundaichicago.com. Getting you set for baseball. We're just minutes away. Let's check out today's starting pitchers. For the Cubs, left-hander Ted Lilly makes his 100th start as a member of the Cubs. He has lost 3 straight starts, including one at Pittsburgh on the 5th of this month. He's 0-2 at Wrigley Field. This is a place where he has thrived in his career. And Ross Ohlendorf, just his 2nd start off the DL, his 3rd overall, just about a month early with back spasms. Greatest place on earth. We're at Wrigley Field in the bleachers, and we'll get you set for Cubs baseball. Bob Brenly will join me when we come back.
is a presentation of WGN Sports.
It's a glorious sunny Sunday afternoon here at Wrigley Field, and we're set for Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN Sports. The Pirates and Cubs wrap up a 3-game weekend series. We welcome Cub fans from around the country watching on WGN America, America's home for baseball. And the Cubs have been broadcasting from the bleachers since 1964. Lou Boudreau and Jack Quinlan back at 64 on WGN Radio. And we fast forward to 2010. Bob Brenly and Len Casper here. We have a lot of friends behind us. Should be fun today, Bob. The best way to cap this day would be a Cubs win.
Boy, it would be an unusual occurrence this season. The Pirates have owned the Cubs, which is really hard to figure out because the rest of the National League has been trouncing the Pirates. So hopefully today will be the day that the Cubs can turn it around, do the things they're supposed to do to win a ballgame.
The Cubs had won 7 straight against the Pirates. They have now lost 7 in a row, including 5 to start this season's series. Ted Lilly's going to go against Ross Ohlendorf. For Ted, he's looking for his first win in a while.
Ted looked much better last time out, carried a no-hitter into the 6th inning against the Florida Marlins. His velocity was up, his breaking balls were much sharper. Expecting big things from Ted today.
An excellent second half for Ross Ohlendorf last year, but some back spasms put him on the shelf early this year. For a month, they expect big things out of this right-hander. We're set for baseball. Now time for God Bless America and our national anthem.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. Thank you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright star through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, it gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Well, it was a great tradition. Harry used to come out to the bleachers all the time back in the day. And we're back out here in 2010. The Cubs hosting the Pittsburgh Pirates. We'll have our bleacher broadcast coming up next. Crisp, clean finish. It's what we do. By Pepsi. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. Submit your idea at refresheverything.com. And by Illinois Lottery's newest game, Powerball Wednesday and Saturday jackpot start at $20 million. Welcome back to the friendly confines as the Cubs are just about set to take the field. And a great view from the Bud Light bleachers. Hi. Thought it might be a little overcast, but the early morning sun seems to have burned away the cloud cover.
It's a beautiful day to play baseball, an even better day to watch baseball from the bleachers. We're glad to be out here with all of our buddies today.
No question about it. We have a little bit better angle as we get a pretty good look at home plate from just left of center field. Time now for our Chrysler game forecast, brought to you by Chrysler. For more information on our vehicle lineup, log on to Chrysler.com or stop by your Chicagoland or Northwest Indiana Chrysler dealer today. 64, pretty cool, I would say, in the shade, but extremely comfortable here in the bleachers. And now the Pirates starting lineup. Lastings, Millage leading off, and playing left, Andy LaRoche is at third base. McCutcheon's had a huge series. Ryan Church is in right. No Garrett Jones today, just getting the day off. Dolmet Pierce back in there. He suffered an injury on Friday. Bobby Crosby in for Iwamura at second. The former Cub Ronnie Cedeno at short, and Ross Ohlendorf the pitcher.
And let's check out how the Cubs take the field defensively behind Ted Lilly today. Brought to you by Pepsi. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. Soriano in left, Fukudome in right. We're going to help Marlon Byrd out here in center field if he needs any advice on positioning. Aramis Ramirez at third base. Starlin Castro at short. Mike Fontenot at second. Derek Lee over at first base this afternoon. Giovanni Soto will be doing the catching for left-hander Ted Lilly. See his numbers on the season, as I mentioned, coming off by far his best outing of the year. Carried that no-hitter into the sixth inning. Did not walk a batter in that game against Florida. Unfortunately, the offense struggled once again. A 4-2 loss to the Marlins.
Paul Nart will work the plate as Marlon Byrd just tossed the ball up into the stands right above us. Brian Gorman, Ted Barrett, the crew chief, Tony Randazzo on the bases. Marlon's ready, and so are we.
About a half a step to your left, Marlon.
Lastings Millage will lead it off for the Pirates. By the way, coming up in a few innings, Cubs chairman Tom Ricketts. He will make his way out to the bleachers and join us.
I think he knows his way out here.
He does. Here we go. Lilly to Millage. Ball one. We had seen Aki Iwamura in the leadoff spot. He's got a little hamstring tweak, so not in there today. Crosby's at second, and Millage is the leadoff guy.
I'll tell you, Len, I forgot what a great view you get from center field of the pitches and their location on the plate, up, down, in, out. Played a little center field back in AAA about a million years ago, and yeah, you can umpire from center field.
Really takes his time even with nobody on base, and his 2-1 pitch is fouled back.
You mentioned earlier, Len, the Pirates have scored in the first inning of every game against the Cubs this year. That's kind of been their MO offensively, try to jump the opposition early and then hang on for dear life. They've been able to do it against the Cubs. Let's see if we can put a 0 up here today.
He went after. It looked to be ball 3. Ted with a strikeout to start the game.
Elevated fastball, not close to the strike zone, either over the plate or on the corner, but Millage swings anyway. Good first out.
Here's the third baseman, Andy LaRoche. Popped picked up, and this will get back into the seats. Well, John Russell's team has struggled against just about everybody but the Cubs. Going into this season, the Pirates had gone 8-27 over their previous 35 games against the Cubs, but they're 5-0 this year. Slow curve didn't come back over the plate.
I have to tell you, Len, this is a guy in this Pirates lineup that worries me against Ted Lilly today. He wants to pull that ball. He wants to hit it in the air. Ted Lilly gives up a lot of fly ball outs. Hopefully it'll stay in the ballpark today.
There's a fly ball out this way. Bird and Soriano. And it's Marlon Bird to make the catch. 2 down.
Yeah, when you look at an opposing lineup, it's not always the obvious choices. The guy was with a high batting average or leading the team in home runs that can give a pitcher a particular problem on a given day. Because of LaRoche's style, he tries to drop that backside, lift the ball in the air. Ted Lilly, as I mentioned, a fly ball pitcher. So far, so good. Kept him in the park.
Now the guy the Cubs have had a lot of trouble getting out, Andrew McCutchen. 11 out of 14 on the year against the Cubs. About 11 out of 15. Derek Lee makes a catch, and Lilly works a 1-2-3 first. The Cubs are coming up from Wrigley. Against the Buccos, brought to you by Pepsi. Every Pepsi refreshes the world. Fukudome leading off. Castro in the 2 spot. Lee, Ramirez, and Bird. Soriano in left. Fontenot at second. Ryan Theriot got hit by a pitch. The left elbow is sore. Soto and Lilly will make up the battery and go 8 and 9.
And let's take a look at the Pirates defensively today. Millage in left, McCutchen in center. Ryan Church played left field yesterday, threw Aramis Ramirez out at home plate. Strong, accurate throwing arm from Ryan Church in right today. LaRoche, Cedeno, Crosby, and Pierce across the infield. Ryan Doman once again doing the catching for right-hander Russ Ohlendorf.
The Princeton product. Ready for just his 3rd start of the year. And you see that sinking fastball. Low and out of the zone for ball 1. Just about a month with back spasms. Made 1 start, went on the DL, made another start, and here he is.
His last start was really short. He only went 4 innings in that ball game, only surrendered 3 base hits. However, he did walk 4 batters in that game. His command might not be there quite yet.
27-year-old right-hander. As Fukudome hits one off his leg, and the throw is just in time to get him.
I told you could umpire from out here. We've got about 1,000 people behind us doing just that. Well, that ball was smoked back up the middle. Ohlendorf in self-defense got leather on it, knocked it down, and took his sweet time to get that ball onto Pierce at first. But in the estimation of Brian Gorman, just in time to get Fukudome. Very close.
comes Starlin Castro, the rookie who has quietly, other than his first game, but I think since then, Bob, quietly put together a really nice offensive stretch. 6 out of his last 13. He's taking walks. And while the homer and all 6 of his RBIs came in his first game, he has been giving the Cubs chances by getting on base. He scored the 3rd run of the game in the 9th inning yesterday as the Cubs came up 1 run short. Ground ball right at the shortstop, Ronnie Cedeno. 2 down.
Well, the one really impressive thing about Castro up to this point, Len, I've had a chance to see him play in the Arizona Fall League, in the minor leagues, in spring training. He's a much more disciplined hitter here at the major league level. Maybe the effect of Rudy Jaramillo, maybe some of his veteran teammates, but not nearly as overly aggressive as we've seen him in the past. And thus, he's taken some base on balls. He's had some good hitters counts.
The wind is blowing in. You might be able to hear it on our microphones out here in the bleachers. We're somewhat protected from the wind. As Lee swings at the first pitch, he'll fly to right. Ryan Church, a one-hand catch. That's a quick 1-2-3 for both pitchers. 0-0 after 1. Pretty Bat Kids, Edward Jackson, Lake Forest, Anaya Lara from Chicago. For more info on how you can be a Walgreens celebrity Bat Kid, go to WGNradio.com. Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs. Well, a good omen in the first inning. The Pirates didn't score. They had scored at least 1 run in each of the first 5 games of this season series as Ryan Church takes ball 1 from Ted Lilly. Church with a big 2-run double, and maybe just as important, he threw out Aramis Ramirez, who would have been the tying run early in that game. I don't know about you, Bob. It was 3-2 at that point, and it stayed 3-2 until the 9th inning. I really didn't think it would remain a low-scoring affair like it did, but the Pirates bullpen in particular has been lights out against the Cubs. Ground ball foul.
Man, a third base coach, any third base coach, has a lot to think about before and during one of those plays, and I'm sure Mike Quade processed all of that. He understands how the offense has been struggling. You don't know how many opportunities you're going to get over the course of a ball game, and as you said, that Pirates bullpen has been really good this year, so Q took a chance, unfortunately didn't work out.
For Ted, this is his 100th start as a Cub, the 260th of his major league career. He's 45-29 with the Chicago Cubs. His ERA about a half-run lower than his career mark since he came to the Cubs as Church takes a called third.
Hey fans, tickets are selling quickly, but there's still time to get great seats for May games. Bleacher seats are still available as well right out here where we are. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com, call 1-800-THE-CUBS, or visit the Wrigley Field box office.
And a Starlin Castro fan sitting right next to us. Ryan Doumit, the switch-hitting catcher, strike one.
Talked about Doumit in the first game of the series, a switch hitter, probably a little more selective from the left side of the plate, rarely draws a base on balls as a right-handed hitter.
One of the great things you get to experience out here in the bleachers, the starting pitcher usually jogs a lap, goes from foul line to foul line just before he starts to loosen in the bullpen. And Ramirez can't get it. A fair ball through the home bullpen, as Doumit will end up with a double. And as Ted ran around the warning track, all the sections of the bleachers stood up and gave him a standing ovation, and he nodded in their directions. Pretty cool before the game.
It's been a struggle at the plate, and lately it's been a struggle in the field for Aramis Ramirez. Just seems to consistently get those in-between hops that are very tough to make plays on.
Here's Steve Pearce. He tweaked his knee on Friday. We did not see him yesterday, but back in the lineup this afternoon. We are email accessible from the bleachers. You can email us at LenonBob@Tribune.com and follow us at Twitter.com/LenonBob.
I'll tell you one thing I noticed sitting out here, Len, from up in the press box, it always looks like the outfielders are so far apart. It looks like there's a lot of room in the gaps, but when you sit out here right behind them, there's not as much room between the outfielders as it appears from up on the roof.
The 2-0 on the way is high, 3-0.
Now with Pearce a pull hitter at the plate, Marlon Byrd's playing a few steps over into the gap in left center, but with his speed and with Fukudome's speed in right field, they can close those gaps in a hurry.
Swing and a miss. He had the green light. You got a bunch of emails after the national anthem wondering who it was. Michael McDermott, who has performed the anthem here several times over the years, did a wonderful job with the acoustic guitar. Great voice.
One of the best versions we hear every year. We love Michael McDermott. He's great.
Doumit back as Fontenot had snuck in behind him. Don't have to tell you that if Steve Pearce had the green light 3-0, he's going to have it 3-1. Ted Lilly knows that.
And that's been moved back to second base, not necessarily to pick off Ryan Doumit because he was sliding back on his belly by the time Ted spun around, but hopefully it will shorten up his lead by a step or two and give his outfielders a chance to throw Doumit out at the plate on a base hit to the outfield.
Here comes the 3-1. And he took that one like he would take a 3-0 pitch. I think he wanted time, and he did not get it from Paul Narden.
Yeah, it's always a request, and if in that umpire's judgment the pitcher is too far along in his delivery, he does not have to grant timeout.
The 3-2 pitch is hit foul as he pulled it down the line. There's been very little good news in terms of how the Cubs have played lately. The only silver lining is the Cardinals have just been okay lately. They got beat last night in Cincinnati, so the Cubs are still within 6 of first, which is amazing considering they're 7 games under 500, and it is still early. More emailers, Bob, want to know if we're going to do the rest of the broadcast shirtless in honor of Harry.
Several city ordinances against that.
Yeah,
we'll pass.
Not a good idea. And we are pretty close to the batter's eye. I think that would create a problem for the hitters. I suppose we could do it when the Pirates are batting. In the dirt, ball 4. Bob, when a team is struggling like the Cubs are, and the margin of error has been very small, you talk about guys putting too much pressure on themselves. Is that something players can feel in the dugout and on the field? You know, Ryan Dempster gave up 3 in the first. That was all he would give up. But is there that mentality of here we go again?
Well, unfortunately, you know, these guys are human beings, and somewhere along their career, they've all played on very good teams, and they've also played on bad teams.
Base hit to left, and Soriano dropped it as Domet came around to score. Looked like he might have had a play on him, but we'll never know. And it's 1-0 Pirates.
That'll be ruled a base hit, and then an E7 to allow Crosby to advance on to second base on the drop by Soriano in left field. Now, getting back to your question, Len, I think it's more a matter of everybody just tries to do too much. That's an overworked cliche in all of sports, but especially in baseball. We heard Aramis Ramirez talking about trying to hit a 5-run homer with nobody on base. And we've heard pitchers sometimes talk about they feel like they have to be perfect because they know the offense is not going to score runs. Everybody just gets out of their comfort zone and what they're capable of doing. And the idea of having guys relax and start having some fun is just putting guys in a position where they can do what they're capable of doing and realize that that's good enough. If everybody on the team just does what they're capable of doing, nobody has to be a superhero.
There's ball 4 as Cedeno takes the intentional walk. And Ohlendorf will come up with the bases loaded and only 1 out. Well, we talked about it before, but it sure seems like some of the defensive struggles we have seen have been the result of maybe some bad at-bats. And that's the last thing you can do. Lou's line is when you're struggling to score, the best offense is strong defense. And it has failed the Cubs here lately. Big swing and a miss by Ohlendorf. 1 strike on the Pirate pitcher. That's high, 1-1. There was a husband and wife tandem, a bunch of Cub fans, and they are having an argument. One says this is our first bleacher broadcast. The other says it's not. And whoever said it's not is correct. I believe it's our 3rd time out here. So he is right, but he probably still needs to apologize.
Yeah. Yes, dear. You're right. I'm sorry. So sorry.
I think our last one was just before the bleachers were reconfigured, right near the end of the 06 season, going into 07.
But the day it rained all afternoon?
I believe it was.
I gave up on my scorecard after about the first inning of that ball game. We tried to hide underneath the golf umbrella as best we could, but it was leaking off the sides. Everything got soaked.
And Ohlendorf went after the high fastball and couldn't get it. A big second out for Lilly. He'll have to get Millage, though, to get out of the inning. If you could count on this weather every day, we could come out here every day. It'd be fine with me.
We'd move the booth right here.
Fouled back by Millage. Pirates getting the lead on a Bobby Crosby RBI single.
Said they got Millage to chase a fastball way up and out of the zone for the first out of the ball game. See if he gets to a 2-strike count if he tries to go back to that pitch.
Good curveball. 0-2.
That's the big bender. Ted Lilly starting to have a much better feel for his breaking pitches, and he needs to be effective.
The 0-2 on the way, and that's ripped into left, and the Pirates are going to get a couple more. And it's 3-0. Lastings Millage with a 2-run single.
Ted Lilly did try to go back to that high fastball on the 0-2 count. This time Millage gets on top of it and tomahawks it down into that left field corner. Climbed right up the left arm of Soriano. He fell down, but fortunately was able to catch the ball and hustle it back in. Millage still stationed over there at first base, where he's a threat to steal.
So they scored 3 in the first on Friday, 3 in the first yesterday, and today they waited until the second to get 3.
This is where you get that feeling, that here we go again feeling, Len. You know, when the offense hasn't been putting up big numbers, you fall behind in a game early, all 3 games of the series, and it's human nature for those thoughts to creep into your mind. But as a professional athlete, you have to find a way to push them out of your mind. Try to think positively, take each at bat, each pitch on its own merit.
A 2-0 count on Andy LaRoche. Lilly throws to first and Millage back.
Not his best move over there to first base, which is a smart thing for a left-handed pitcher to do. Show a couple of subpar moves to first, hoping you can entice that runner to take an extra step, and then put the good move on him and try to pick him off.
Castro, the short throw just in time to Fontenot as they force Millage to end the inning. But the Pirates get 3 runs, and they have the early 3-0 lead. Just as I saw it originally. Won't touch anything. I guess if you can talk your way into the press box, go for it.
Good luck with that. I was going to ask you if between innings you can run up and get my pen. I left it up in the booth.
Might be back in the 5th. Ramos Ramirez taking a fastball outside from Ross Ohlendorf. 2-0 the count. We got a tweet from Annie Picky who says, "I see you. Do you see me?"
Maybe.
We'll be ordering a restraining order after the game.
I don't think we better wait that long.
The 3-0 to Aramis. That's not what Ohlendorf wanted to do after his team gave him 3 runs as he walks the leadoff man. Here comes Marlon Byrd.
A cute little interchange before the game today, Len. On Sundays, the fans take the positions along with the players, and Marlon Byrd had the gentleman in center field bow to the right field bleachers, bow to the center field bleachers, and then bow to the left field bleachers before autographing the baseball and sending the gentleman on his way.
Byrd hitting 5th today. And the slider is low and outside, so Ohlendorf has missed on the first 5 pitches of this inning. Ramirez not a threat to steal, especially with the Cubs down early. It's a good late moving, sinking fastball. 1-1.
I guess a lot of teams in the National League, this would be a prime running situation. Ohlendorf very slow with his delivery to home plate. Ronnie Paulino 2 out of 23 on the season, throwing out attempted base stealers. But as you said, Ramirez doesn't possess great speed. The Cubs just don't run much.
Ross Ohlendorf is no dummy. He went to Princeton, and he spent this past winter interning at the U.S. Department of Agriculture in D.C. It was an unpaid internship. He had met the ag secretary who threw out a ceremonial first pitch in Pittsburgh last summer, and after a brief chat about Ohlendorf's family raising cattle in Texas, a blooper out into right for a base hit. Ramirez is going to stop at second, and the Cubs have something cooking here. 2 on with nobody out.
Floater into right field, good enough to move Ramirez up 90 feet. Set the table for Alfonso Soriano here with nobody out in the inning. Cubs haven't had troubles getting runners on base. They've had trouble getting runners on the plate.
Here's Soriano. Yeah, so they talked, and Ohlendorf started to think it'd be cool to learn more about the government in an area that intrigues him, and he became a pretty high-profile intern after emailing the secretary's office. Job lasted a couple of months, and he focused on nationwide animal tracking in the aftermath of a disease being discovered. Pretty heady stuff. The 0-1 to Soriano. A fly ball to left, and Millage is back on it. Can't catch it off the warning track. Ramirez is going to score. Byrd pulls in at third. It's a double for Soriano. Millage got all twisted and turned around. It's 3-1, and still nobody out.
Looked like it had a chance off the bat. A hanging breaking ball right in the middle of the plate for Soriano. He watched it for a moment thinking maybe it had a chance, and Millage, as you said, got completely turned around out there near that well area. The ball drops for a double. Let's still have it cooking here for Mike Fontenot with a couple men in scoring position.
Mike is in there for Ryan Theriot. Took a pitch off his left elbow yesterday. Line to center. McCutchen makes a catch. Byrd is going to hold at third. Throw a little bit up the third base line. McCutchen, really all the outfielders possess pretty good arms. Cub fans, make sure you check in on our WGN Baseball blog on WGNTV.com. I have a post about our experience out here in the bleachers. Check out Jeff Garland singing the stretch on Friday. Go to Chicago Baseball Stories and read about Don Cardwell's no-no 50 years ago. We have game notes from Stats and much more. Once again, it's WGNTV.com. Not sure if Ryan is available off the bench today, but not in the lineup as he nurses the sore elbow. The 0-1 to Soto. Nice block by Domet to keep Bird at third base. This was the Terrio injury yesterday, which did not knock him out of the game, but it hurt.
He just tried to lean back out of the way of a DJ Carrasco tailing fastball and couldn't get out of there quickly enough. Caught him right on the point of that left elbow. Soto's been hitting a lot of balls to center field lately, man. Get your glove ready.
Okay.
Well, I didn't bring it.
Way high. 2-1. You are a designated home run catcher.
All right.
Here in the bleachers,
I will
okay?
gladly accept that responsibility.
Soto's a key batter in this inning because the pitcher is behind him. Ohlendorf knows if he can get Soto, he sees some light at the end of the tunnel. Here's a pitch. Got it. The front door slider. I think Gio thought it was up and maybe in, but Paul Nart called it a strike.
No, I agree with Gio. I mean, we're sitting out here 400 feet from home plate, but it looked like that breaking ball was late and never really got down into the strike zone. Oh, belt high off the inside corner. That's a horrible call. Horrible call.
How do you really feel about it?
Jeez. It's tough enough. You're up there doing battle against a guy with 4 different pitches trying to get you out, and then the umpire calls a strike like that. That makes it really tough to hit at this level.
One 1-0 on Ted Lilly. There will be times today you will hear some interesting chants and cheers behind us, and we won't necessarily comment on them. We just thought it would be nice to hear. As McCutchen will make the catch. The Cubs get 1, but they felt like they should have gotten more. It's 3-1 Pirates after 2.
Baseball on WGN TV is sponsored in part by the Illinois Lottery Mega Millions. Tuesday's Mega Millions jackpot is $42 million.
3-1 Pirates. Andrew McCutchen takes a high strike. And it would look like a slider from Ted Lilly. We'll send out happy 7-year-old birthday wishes to Will Martin, big Cub fan from Fort Collins, Colorado. Watching on WGN America.
Also have a couple of birthdays in the Kreider family from Leland, Illinois. Happy birthday 15th to Brock and 10th to Brady. Also a big shout out to Robert Garcia in Huntley, Illinois.
Time called before the 1-2. Curveball is rolled right back up the middle as McCutchen takes a big turnaround first. He has a single. He continues to rack up hits against the Cubs. He will run.
Yeah, he will definitely run. Stole 2 bases in the first game of the series against the Cubs, giving him 12, which I didn't check this morning, but he was leading the National League with his 12 stolen bases by 1 over Michael Bourne. I'll tell you, McCutchen has hit everything in this series, too. He's hit fastballs in, fastballs away, breaking balls, change-ups. He's just locked in.
Slicing fly to left. Soriano over to make the catch. So Church retired. How many did you say Bourne had? 11?
I thought he had 11.
Well, he had 3 last night for Houston. He has 14 now on the year. Talked about Andre Ethier leading in the big Triple Crown categories. He's got a broken, I think it's a finger. Pinky finger?
It's a pinky finger on his right hand.
The Dodgers will be here on the next homestand for the Cubs. It'll be a big break, no pun intended, to not have to face Andre Ethier. I don't think they know quite yet how much time he's going to miss. Now they have McCutchen at second. That should go 1, 3, 4 to get McCutchen.
One thing about the premier base stealers, you know they want to run. They're going to try everything they can to get a jump on that opposing pitcher, and that time McCutchen was caught guessing wrong, tried to take off on Ted Lilly's first movement. He flew to first and retired the speedy Pirates outfielder.
2 down in the inning. A strike on Domet. And Domet pops it up. Fontenot behind second to end the inning. Leadoff single, no runs. 3-1 Pirates.
Today, but the Wrigley Field bleachers renovated this winter for the first time since 1937. For all your home improvement needs, shop and save big money at Menards.
The scoreboard looks great. As Ross Ohlendorf works in the bottom of the third. Top three for the Cubs, starting with Fukudome, who was retired on a nice play by the pitcher in the first inning. Lined down the left field line, and it's foul. Looks like the Pirates are shifting against Fukudome like they did late in the game yesterday. Now, in fairness to the Pirates, Fukudome's triple would have been a hit even if they had played him to pull. It might not have been a triple, as he lays down a bunt, and that kicks foul. But they do not expect Kosuke to really turn on much against Ohlendorf.
And sometimes you can draw something from that as a hitter if you take a look at the way a team is defending against you. And with this exaggerated shift to the opposite field, you have to figure Ohlendorf is, number one, going to throw a lot of hard stuff to Kosuke Fukudome, and number two, probably work him away. Because it really wouldn't make much sense to align your defense this way and then throw him off-speed pitches inside.
Was able to hold up on a slider that had a lot of bite to it. The righty coming back, and the fastball is popped up. Pierce comes in to make the catch. Great seats, including bleachers, are still available this Tuesday when the Cubs host the Rockies here at Wrigley Field. Game time 7:05, but be sure to arrive early. The first 10,000 fans will get a Cubs floppy hat, compliments of Fisher Nuts. Get your tickets today. Call 1-800-THE-CUBS or visit Cubs.com. So when you are Ohlendorf, a four-pitch guy, as you mentioned, you've got a pretty wide array of pitches. As a catcher, how do you call a game like this? Do you go with what's working? Do you tend to work on stuff that's not working that hopefully will work later in the game?
Usually he'll have one or two pitches that are working very well to start the ball game. Commanding his fastball obviously is something you'd like to establish very early on. But with a guy that has four pitches like Ohlendorf does, sometimes you'll start out using fastball slider the first time through the lineup.
Another pop-up. This time it's Crosby.
And then each progressive time through the lineup, maybe you add a pitch. You get to his two-strike count against a guy who hasn't seen your curveball yet. You might be able to lock him up with a pitch he hasn't seen before. You get in some of those fastball counts maybe the third time through the order and throw a straight changeup, a pitch that the hitter hasn't seen yet. But you just try to kind of mix them in and remember which pitches you used on which hitters.
Two down, nobody on. Derek takes a slider low. Ohlendorf has used that pitch a lot here in the early going. T. Nelson 27 tweets, bleacher broadcast is cool. What about a scoreboard broadcast? On a windy day like this, do you want to sit on top of the scoreboard?
Well, would we be responsible for updating the board during the game?
If we wear seatbelts, we might do it. 3 pop-outs, and the Cubs go down quietly in the third. 3-1 Pirates.
Budweiser official beer of the first inning. Let's check out the crowd through the first inning fan cam and see who's enjoying the game. John Fogerty with center field. That's where we're at today. Budweiser, it's what we do.
Chicks still dig the Brindley stash.
Now, why should that ever change? Bunch of guys up there that look like they're in the witness protection program with their fake mustaches on.
1-1 on Steve Pierce, who walked and scored in the 3-run second. We're in the fourth. Swing and a miss. Rockies are here the next 2 nights before the Cubs hit the road for a pretty short 5-game trip. 2 in Philly and then 3 in Texas for interleague play.
It's one of those tough turnarounds, then. A night game here Tuesday, fly to Philadelphia, get in the early morning hours in Philly, followed by a night game in Philadelphia, then a day game on getaway day before heading to Texas.
Well, like we always say, if we're in the area, we might as well go to Texas. And then the Cubs head home and play the Dodgers and Cardinals before hitting the road for one of their longer trips of the season, which will start in Pittsburgh on Memorial Day. The 2-2 to Pierce. Grounded to Castro, pops the mitt and fires across in plenty of time.
Well, we've talked about it since his yips in his first game here at Wrigley Field. Starlin Castro, this looks very comfortable at shortstop right now. Using his feet extremely well to get his body into a good throwing position. Doesn't have to rely so much on that cannon-like throwing arm. Just trying to slow the game down a little bit.
Crosby knocked in the game's first run. Lilly won his first start off the DL. That was at Milwaukee. 6 shutout innings. As the Cubs won the game 5-1. He has lost, however, his last 3. Ryan Dempster has now lost 4 consecutive starts, even though he was pretty good yesterday. Gave up the 3 in the first. That was all. He went 7 strong innings. And it seems like lately that's one too many. But no excuses. He said after the game, just got to think positively and try to win a game today. That's all you can do. Ramos battling the sun, and he just ran out of room. Another Aramis Ramirez made the catch as it bounced into the seats. Number 16.
Does that count?
I don't think so.
There ought to be a rule.
If a fan has that guy's jersey and he catches it, it's an out.
If Marlon Byrd comes back here to the center field wall to make a play and somebody with a Marlon Byrd shirt on catches a ball in the stands, it's an out.
I like it. Kosuke. 2 down.
Boy, another thing you can really see well from out here is the jumps that the outfielders get on those fly balls. That one looked like it was going to get over Fukudome's head, but he retreated quickly, got to the spot, and made it a fairly easy play.
Number 8 hitter Cedeno. Fastball outside corner.
Always a big out for the lineup rollover. You retire Ronnie Cedeno, you have Ohlendorf leading off in the 5th inning. And that's a very desirable situation for anybody.
Lee and Fontenot shading their eyes. Derek with the grab. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Cubs trail 3-1. We're hanging in center today in the bleachers.
by Bud Light Lime, the drinkability of Bud Light with the refreshing taste of lime.
And we are in the Bud Light bleachers. It's 3-1 Pirates, bottom of the fourth. Ramirez, Bird, and Soriano due up against Ross Ohlendorf, who deals a strike. Cubs chairman Tom Ricketts, a bleacher veteran, is back.
Hey guys, good to be here.
Great to have you with us, Tom, as they give you the salon treatment.
Yeah, that's pretty nice here.
Very nice. That one hit very well, but pulled foul. The weather has cooperated. Just a beautiful day to be out here.
Oh, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Well, you spent many a day like this out here in the bleachers, didn't you, Tom?
Oh, I did. I was living out here. When I was a single guy, this was it. Every Saturday and Sunday, and a few Tuesdays and Thursdays in there, too.
Were you a left field bleacher, right field bleacher, or did you kind of move around?
We actually had a spot we went to a lot. We were a little bit too lazy to get here early to be on the wall and right or left. So we would get here a little bit later and sit in the front row of center. And part of it was we came with a bunch of guys, and in the old days, you could buy more than 2 beers at once. So we would just hand them up over the railing. So there were some efficiencies to it. So those are good days.
It's one of the best views in all of sports, right on top of the action. A lot of give and take with the outfielders, including the guy at the plate, Marlon Byrd, who has become a favorite out here.
Oh, he's terrific, isn't he?
Oh, just the way he relates to the fans. We got a chance to see him come out here early today. The fans took positions with the players, and Marlon had his guy bow to the bleachers. And fans loved him.
Well, anytime you have a guy that's that good and plays that hard, it's going to be terrific.
1-1 on Marlon. And the ground ball to Bobby Crosby. He throws him out. Now, there are a lot of people out here every day, but, Tom, we want fans to know out there that if you want to come out and sit in the bleachers, there are tickets available. And as we see here on the graphic, there is a lot of ticket availability coming up the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that it's always sold out. And it's usually pretty close. And for the big games, it'll get sold out. But go online, take a look at what's out there. It's the best place to watch baseball in the world. So you might as well come on out.
We also encourage fans to go to the box office if they're in the area and they want to come to a game. Check out the box office first, because sometimes, as you say, there are tickets available pretty late before a game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people assume you have to go through a broker, and if you want to do that, that's fine. But you can also just call the team or go to the box office. A lot of times there's tickets there.
Well, and even for people who've come to Wrigley Field a lot of times and sat in the grandstand, if you've never experienced a game from the bleachers at Wrigley, I would highly recommend it.
Well, you're right on top of the action. I mean, the wall is short. You're close to everything. And you're out in the sun. And you make about 50 new friends every time you come out here.
Well, it is a family out here. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. That is low, ball 4, and the inning is still alive. Well, you like to get out and about. And I think it's great to see, Tom. There's certainly a face of the franchise that there really hadn't been for a long time. And you take that very seriously. I would say you don't take yourself seriously, which is very endearing to all the Cub fans you run into.
Yeah, I get out. I spend most of the game just walking around talking to folks and just being part of the crowd. And that's great. It's, we're all, the whole family, we're fans. It's just part of who we are. And we had 30 years of corporate ownership. And we'd like to remind people this is a family again.
A tying run at the plate. It's Mike Fontenot as Ohlendorf throws to first. Speaking of family, the story has been told many times, but you met your future wife in the bleachers.
I did. All true. We were in center field, and I was there with a group of friends, and she was there with a group of friends, and it turned out we had a few things in common, and 19 years later, here we are. But that's the thing about the bleachers. You come out here, it's part of the Wrigley experience to high-five a stranger. And I think that, people come out here and they have a good time, and they meet other fans and just enjoy the day.
Ohlendorf gets a sign. And a slider is in there for a strike. You've talked about being a fan. How tough is it to take your fan cap off or put it back on when you watch on a daily basis? Is it tough for you to ride that roller coaster or keep that even keel?
Well, you know, I try to keep the big picture in mind, but obviously some of the disappointments that you face on a day-to-day basis get you. And you know, it's like the fan cap just got heavier. You know, you can't take it off; it just gets heavier. And when you know the guys a little bit, you know how hard they're working and how badly they want to win. You know, it just you take every loss a little harder, no question.
Popped up by Fontenot, and this will be Millage to make the catch. Can you hang around for a couple more minutes, Tom?
Absolutely.
We would appreciate it. We have sunscreen if you need it. Ticket availability for the rest of the season. Again, lots of seats are available here at Wrigley Field. We'll be back 3-1 Pirates. Okay. We're back, fifth inning now. Ross Ohlendorf leading off for the Pirates. 3-1 they lead. All the runs coming in the second inning. Cubs chairman Tom Ricketts is with us. We're in the bleachers just to the left of center, right near the batter's eye, on this gorgeous day. Ted's 1-2, swing and a miss, and it is the fifth inning, brought to you by Subway. Hey, Chicagoland viewers, how would you like to win $5 footlongs from Subway? Just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete info and rules.
That's why you like to have that lineup roll around and have the pitcher leading off an inning. A quick out for Ted Lilly. Now he can go to work with one down, nobody on.
Tom, do you remember the last game you sat for an entire game in the bleachers?
Probably wasn't too long ago, to be honest. You know, when it's just the guys going out, we would sit out here. Yeah, when I got the kids, I tend to be over in the grandstand. But,
sure.
Yeah, the last couple of years sometime.
And we've asked you this before in spring training, but it certainly bears repeating. You get recognized a lot everywhere you go around Chicago in general, but you come to the ballpark and you enjoy talking to the fans every day, and you get a lot of advice, I know, unsolicited, but it's nice to talk to fans and hear what they have to say, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you know, there's obviously some advice that you can't do anything with, but people have suggestions. You know, there's little things that maybe we miss that people can talk to us about and give us some ideas on.
Well, I think all the changes made over the winter, the restrooms, fans don't see it, but the press box really spruced up. We showed the scoreboard. Just little things that keep this ballpark as modern as possible while remaining, that charming ballpark that everybody loves.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a national treasure. Wrigley Field is special. The game you see here is a lot like the game your grandfather saw here, and we're not going to do anything to change that. That's a mission of the family to preserve the field, to make it better, and and have it here for the next generation.
Yeah, that's a great point. We talk with Ron Santo and Billy Williams all the time about the ballpark and certain little nooks and crannies. They're all still here from the 60s and well before that. And again, tickets are available here in the bleachers in the spot we're sitting right now. Tom Ricketts, thanks so much for the time. Let's come back and get a win.
By Bank of America is on Wednesday, May 26th at 2:30. Collect autographs on an authentic MLB baseball from the 2010 Cubs players and coaches in attendance. Limited tickets are available for $300 each. Proceeds benefit Chicago Cubs charities. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com or call 773-404-CUBS.
We're in the Bud Light bleachers today. 3-1 Pirates, bottom 5. As Giovanni Soto pops up right side, and did he catch it? He did. What a catch by Steve Pearce, leaning over the railing. That ball almost hit the top of the dugout. That's a heck of a play right there.
Well, that wind blowing in from center field, pushing that ball further and further away from Pearce. Boy, the key to the play once again is he was able to get to the railing and really maximize his reach. Picked it right off the roof of the dugout for the first out of the inning. That's a great play. A little reminiscent of Ike Davis at Citi Field in New York, who made a similar play, tumbling over the railing on a foul ball.
Sinker strike to Ted Lilly. Here's the 0-1, also a strike that caught the outside corner. Thanks again to Cubs chairman Tom Ricketts as Lilly strikes out. Tom had to leave, and he's moved about 2 feet.
2 feet, yeah.
As he is signing autographs here in the bleachers.
It's pretty apparent how beloved he is out here in the bleachers. We stood up for full inning and nobody behind us said, "Sit down." He's earned it. It's good to see an owner that gets out amongst the fans, as you mentioned, Len. Gets some unsolicited advice from time to time, but So many times the owner is sealed away up in a luxury box somewhere, watching the game on a high-def TV. Tom Ricketts out here among the fans, having a hot dog and a beer, enjoying the sunshine in a place that he's very, very familiar with.
The 1-0 to Fukudome. That missed as well, 2-0. You can see from our center field shot, Ross Ohlendorf has really good stuff. All of his pitches have a lot of movement. Even the stuff that's supposed to be fairly straight moves, like that one. 2-1.
And just illustrates another reason why your center fielder is the captain of your outfield. He's got the best view of the pitches going up there to home plate. He knows, for example, McCutchen, he knows what Ohlendorf has working today, what kind of control he has. Is he hitting his spots? Can we overshift accordingly?
Backhanded by Pierce. He will take it unassisted, and a quick 1-2-3 for Ohlendorf to the 6th. Pirates 3, Cubs 1. Let's check out who's moving forward with Toyota. Andrew McCutchen against the Cubs. He's been pretty good against everybody, but how about 12 for 16 with 9 runs, and that includes 8 for 10 in this series. Toyota and your local Toyota dealers, official partner of the Chicago Cubs. The 1-0 pitch to McCutchen. Misses up and away.
You know, Len, as gaudy as those numbers are for McCutchen, we know that every player on the field is capable of a stretch like that. When you get locked in at the plate, when physically and mentally you're in a really good place, the matchups against the opposing pitchers seem to suit your game right now. We've seen Soriano do it. We saw Marlon Byrd do it earlier this year. Fukudome at the beginning of the season was in a similar hot streak. We just like to stay in it as long as possible.
Pop fly to left. The aforementioned Soriano with the grab, and let's step aside and see what's coming up on WGN. Len and Bob and our WGN Sports crew, along with a lot of regulars out in the bleachers. Brian Church Deep fly as Fukudome shading his eyes. Locates the ball, makes the grab.
Tom Ricketts talk about the joy of meeting new people out in the bleachers, and the opposite is true. There are some people out here that the seats have basically been in their family for generations. Grandpa sat out in the bleachers in the same seats, their dad sat in the same seats, and now they're sitting in the same seats.
Tom has taken 4 steps in the last inning. 1-1 to Doman.
We saw a lot of familiar faces over further toward the left field line where we had our last bleacher telecast. A lot of the same people sitting in the same seats.
I don't know if he has a Facebook account, but he will have been tagged in a Facebook photo about 800 times over the next 24 hours. 3-1 Pirates.
Union Grove, Wisconsin is today's Hit the Jackpot with Powerball contestant. If a Cub hits a home run in the next half inning, Herbert Cooper wins 100 chances to win the Powerball jackpot. Wednesday's jackpot is worth $145 million.
All right, Herbert. So this is your inning. The last of the 6th. Castro, Lee, Ramirez. This game has the same feel as a lot of Cubs-Pirates battles this season, including yesterday when the Pirates got 3 in the very first inning, and that held up until the 9th when they added an insurance run. They would win the game 4-3. Slider is low and away to Castro. 2 balls and a strike. We will be conducting the 7th inning stretch from the bleachers today. Backhanded, Ronnie Cedeno. The toss across is in time. Cub fans, if you want to manage a game along with Lou, log on to WGNTV.com right now. Click on the WGN Sports Game Zone banner to connect to all the up-to-the-minute stats and information while you're watching at home. Game Zone is sponsored by The Great Escape Pools, patio and play sets, hot tubs, and more. Not quite sure just how much gas Ross Ohlendorf has in his tank today, as you mentioned, Bob, but didn't go too deep in his last start. This is only his 2nd after missing a month on the disabled list. as he works here in the bottom of the 6th inning. His fastball still strong at 93. He's been a lot more efficient today than he was in his first 2 starts. 91 pitches in 5 innings in his first start, 84 in just 4 innings 6 days ago.
And we talked about that Pirates bullpen throughout the first 2 games of this series. Derek Lee wraps one into left field for a base hit. I'll tell you, if the Pirates have a lead after 6, they're very tough with Hanrahan, Meek, and Dotel down there to finish out ball games. See if they can't do some damage against Ohlendorf here quickly in the 6th inning before they have a chance to get anybody warmed up.
Ramos has walked, scored, and struck out. That was a called third taken in the 4th inning. The Pirates have not swept the Cubs in a 3-game series at Wrigley Field in a while. It's been 10 years. They also haven't won 8 straight against the Cubs in 20 years. The last 3-game sweep here, May of 2000. And the last Cubs 8-game losing streak against the Pirates, 1990. Lee back to first. And as Ramirez lines out to right. Marlon Byrd, he's 1 out of 2.
Love to see Marlon Byrd make some big noise in this game today because he's got a whole bunch of fans sitting right behind us.
Yeah, Marlon has acknowledged our section every time he's come out to play defense.
I think Marlon's one of those guys that gets it. He understands what it all means to these fans here at Wrigley Field, especially the bleacher bums out here. Nobody had to tell him how to act. Nobody had to tell him what to do. He immediately endeared himself to these fans with his style of play and his willingness to come out here every day and acknowledge that they were a big part of this thing as well.
That's a fair ball into the left field corner. Lee racing toward third, and he's going to have to stop there. It's a double for Byrd. It's his 16th double of the year. Time to look at our BMW drive of the game. Alfonso Soriano with an RBI double. Off the warning track and left, back in the second. Only BMW offers ultimate service. Buy a BMW now and pay 0 maintenance costs for 4 years or 50,000 miles, whichever comes first.
A double by Marlon Byrd gave the fans out here something to cheer about. It's been a relatively quiet day so far in the bleachers, but that got them on their feet.
Joe Kerrigan, the pitching coach, just out for a visit as they have first base open. And left-handed hitting Mike Fontenot on deck. Soriano has doubled and walked.
Some bodies starting to stir around in that Pirates bullpen. Nobody throwing at this point. Nobody taking off a jacket yet, but there's some guys starting to move around a little bit. Stretch their legs out.
McCutchen calling for it, and a little collision, but it's Ryan Church who apparently didn't hear McCutchen calling him off. Cubs leave 2 in scoring position, still 3-1.
That was our AT&T U-verse replay. My partner making his way out here to the bleachers today, making some new friends along the way. Find out more of what's possible at AT&T.com. AT&T, rethink possible.
Made it just in time.
Just in time.
You get into your routine, you're in the booth, you're doing your homework, and then you go, oh no, I've got about 5 minutes to get to the bleachers. I had time for a hot dog and a beverage.
I noticed you didn't bring me a beverage.
Sorry about that. You had somebody deliver one earlier,
yes.
So you're okay. Steve Pearce hasn't been in the big leagues this year that long. He just got called up recently, so he hasn't had a chance to do much offensively, but we've seen him make some really nice defensive plays at first.
He's a very acrobatic first baseman, very flexible. He's stretched in every direction possible, gone up after high throws. He's picked low throws out of the dirt and made that great catch in foul territory over in their dugout.
2-2 the count on him. Shout out to Jamie Broadus in Phoenix, Arizona, watching on WGN America. And yes, Jamie, we are wearing our Maui Gyms.
Yes, we are. Good day for him.
Yeah, you got to have your shades on out here in the bleachers today.
Yeah, and mine actually have readers at the bottom of my shades.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, how about that? For those of us who need the readers.
The 2-2 from Lilly will do it again.
You know, this is probably the day, Len, that we'll get 4 or 5 foul balls in the booth.
Right. We'll go up there tomorrow night and there'll be baseballs all over the floor.
Be like an Easter egg hunt. This space for rent for 24 hours.
Just missed. On a slider. 3-2. The payoff delivery. Another foul pop. As Jerry Coleman might say, nobody throwing up in the bullpen, nor have we seen anybody do that in the bleachers to this point.
We just haven't seen it. Thank goodness.
Good battle here between Lilly and Pierce. A lot of guys stretching in the Pirates pen, including DJ Carrasco. We can see his old school stirrups. And a base hit in front of Soriano. Don't miss your chance to be part of the brand new PNC Club of Chicago. The new club, located down the third base line, offers high-end catering, a top-shelf bar, indoor and outdoor seating, and other benefits that allow for a truly all-inclusive game day experience. Membership also includes parking for every home game. To reserve your season tickets in the PNC Club of Chicago, call 773-404-4200. We get a good look at it from the bleachers. Get a great vantage point. And just behind the Cubs bullpen. Pitch to Bobby Crosby. A foul strike.
I'm anticipating some action in the Cubs bullpen as well, Len. A leadoff base hit by Pierce. Here in the 7th inning, Ted Lilly's spot is due up third in the bottom half of the 7th inning, so it wouldn't be out of the question to see a double switch if indeed Lou takes Ted Lilly out of this ball game.
Literally like $1.
You had a shot earlier of the Pirates pen, much more active, even though nobody yet is getting loose. That might change with Ohlendorf's spot coming up potentially later this inning. And again, we're going to lead the stretch after the top of the 7th from the bleachers. A changeup from Lilly. Cedeno pulling a Todd Helton.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. Todd Helton from the Colorado Rockies likes to sneak in there as close to home plate as possible to try to see the release point.
Diving stop, Ramirez from his knees, and the throw is wide. Should be a hit for Crosby. They have 2 on with nobody out, and we will probably now see some action in the Cubs pen. Good job by Ramirez to stop it, but could not make an accurate throw, and I think Crosby would have gotten in anyway.
And not even a glance at second base that time. Ramirez knew he did not have a play on the runner going from first to second, so threw from his knees across the diamond, unfortunately a little bit late.
Justin Berg will grab a ball as Cedeno bats with 2 on and nobody out. Swing and a miss.
Well, the fact that Ronnie Cedeno is up to the plate hacking away in that 8 spot tells you that Ohlendorf is probably going to stay in this ball game. There's no activity in the Pirates bullpen at this point. If you were going to pinch hit for the pitcher, you might see Ronnie Cedeno put down a sacrifice bunt and then have John Russell send the pinch hitter up to the plate.
This will get the lead man to third as Pierce, well, he's going to have to hold. He went back and Kosuke got it back in quickly.
Yeah, Pierce initially broke toward third base, and by the time he was able to get back to the bag at second, Kosuke had hustled the ball back in so quickly he didn't have a chance to advance to third base. You watch Pierce at the top of your picture, took about 2 or 3 steps toward third as he was reading that fly ball, and by the time he realized Fukudome was going to make the play, he had no choice but just to go back to the bag at second and hold his ground.
So Ohlendorf will probably lay down a bunt, or at least attempt to. Already squaring. Pierce at second. Crosby at first. Pirates already leading 3-1.
I have to say this is a first, Len. Ramos Ramirez actually called timeout. Ted Lilly stepped off the rubber, and they went through a series of signs to indicate which bunt defense they're going to use. The Cubs have historically just used the traditional defense where the third baseman reads the bunt. And indeed, they're playing a wheel play here.
And he swings away. Kosuke makes a tumbling catch. And the runners have to go back. What a play by Fukudome out in right center as Ohlendorf pulled the bat back and was bidding for an extra base hit.
Oh, a nice running catch by Fukudome. Had to reach high in the air. Ohlendorf does a nice job of putting that ball in play with some authority to right field, and Fukudome a diving, tumbling catch, and once again, Pierce caught in no man's land and has to stay at second base.
2 outs in the inning. Millage. Curve in there. Big 2-run single in the second for Millage. Millage has now knocked in 7 this season against the Cubs. Blocked by Soto. Lilly trying to work out of a 7th inning jam and keep his team in it. Swing and a miss. Well, that fastball, Bob, registering at 87, but it looked a lot faster than that.
A good location up above the belt. And after throwing a bunch of off-speed breaking balls, he kind of lulled Millage to sleep and then snuck that fastball past him.
Lilly's 1-2. It's low. On a changeup. First time Ted has gone into triple digits with a pitch count this season. His previous high was 98. And a full count with 2 down. With 3-2 of the runners going, it's low, ball 4, and that loads the bases. Ted, who had not walked anybody over his last 2 starts, and has walked 3 today. You know what you're going to say?
Oh, yeah.
Got it all worked out?
Same thing I say every time. Sing it loud, make Harry proud. I mean, that's why we do this.
Hopefully everybody will know to look out to the bleachers as opposed to up in the empty booth. But you know what? If they look in the booth, that's okay, because Harry's caricature is right above where we sit. And as you said, that's why we do it. Base is full, and the pitch to Andy LaRoche, curveball, is outside. The curveball is the trickiest pitch on which to throw a strike because it moves more than any other pitch.
And many times a guy with a big curveball like Ted Lilly, the pitch will actually be out of the strike zone when the catcher receives it, but it crosses the plate in the strike zone. Tough for umpires to call that pitch.
Blocked by Soto. Meek is the righty and Javier Lopez is the left-hander. Cubs would rather not have to face Evan Meek. Three and one now. Lilly has got to come in there.
And you never like to think negatively, but Sean Marshall has joined Justin Berg in that Cubs bullpen just in case we get down to Ryan Church's spot, the 4th spot in the Pirates lineup in this inning.
Belt high strike. So Rose trying to sell it. The 3-2 with everybody going, and we'll do it again.
Pirates have really had Ted Lilly laboring in this inning. This will be his 30th pitch of the top half of the 7th.
Another 3-2 and a pop-up. Derek Lee to catch. Time to sing.
Gus Conductor for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Live from the bleachers, Len Casper and Bob Brumley.
All right. Let me hear you sing it loud.
Bottom 7, Ross Ohlendorf still in. 3-1 Pirates. Way to get everybody fired up, partner. Nicely done.
Got a lot of backing vocalists. That helps.
Had a 40,000 part harmony.
Some of us were actually on key. Not me, but some of the 40,000. Got to believe Ohlendorf's on a real short leash here in the bottom half of the 7th.
And it's 3-0 to Fontenot. Well, the Reds beat the Cardinals, and Cincinnati has jumped into first place in the division at 21-16. Leadoff walk.
Visit the official online shop of the Chicago Cubs at Cubs.com. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source, the Cubs.com shop. Accept no substitutes.
Might be it for Ohlendorf. As John Russell is making the call, Soto due up. Evan Meek is the likely reliever to come in. So that'll be it for Ohlendorf. 3-1 Pirates. The Cubs have the tying run at the plate with no outs. Evan Meek takes over. Fontenot at first. He walked against Ohlendorf. It's Giovanni Soto at the plate, and Tyler Colvin is on deck in Lily's spot.
We saw Meek first game of this series, pitched 2 scoreless innings, struck out 4 Cubs hitters.
Home run cut by Soto, and he missed it. 0-1. In that Cardinal game today, the Reds beat them 7-2, knocking St. Louis out of first place for the first time since July 31st of last year. Scott Rowland with a homer and 3 knocked in against his former team. So the Reds are in first by a half a game.
I believe the Reds had a little momentum after the way that ball game ended last night. The tying run was thrown out at home plate to end the ball game. The Reds won that one 4-3.
And they didn't need that today as they won by 5. Walt Jocketty, the GM of the Reds, formerly of the Cardinals. Long way to go. We're only in mid-May. A 1-1 count on Soto. Here's the pitch. Lined, and McCutchen will leave his feet and make the catch for the out. A diving grab by Andrew McCutchen to rob Soto.
I don't know if McCutchen will ever get his due playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates, but this guy's one of the best young athletes in the game. There's nothing he can't do on the field. That was not an easy play. A sinking line drive right in front of us. McCutchen coming straight in made a great diving play.
Here's Colvin for Lilly. Now, the Cubs pitching staff has not been quite as good here lately during this 11-game stretch, during which the Cubs have lost 9 times. The staff ERA is over 5.65. However, if you get 7 innings, 3 runs per game, that should be good enough most days. And the Cubs have gotten that a few times, and unfortunately lately it has not been good enough. Colvin muscles it out into right center, and another diving catch. This time it's Ryan Church.
Stop it.
2 down in the inning.
A different kind of fly ball, but the same result. Giovanni Soto with a sinking line drive to center that McCutchen laid out to catch, and now a little floater into shallow right, and Ryan Church does the same thing.
This is that point where the Cubs cannot feel sorry for themselves. I saw a quote, I'm not quite sure who it was, talking about one particular team saying they feel sorry for themselves too much. It was not the Cubs, but you get into modes like this, you know, guys making great catches, umpire made a bad call. Those things don't help over the long haul if they start to pile up, and you don't want to see guys hanging their heads. There's nothing you can do about a great catch like Church and McCutchen have made. Just got to work harder. And my point is not that I've seen that or anybody's told me they've seen that, but you can't let that creep into the clubhouse.
No, not at all. Or your thoughts while you're at the plate or on the mound or at your defensive position. Yeah, Ryan Dempster said it best. It seems like an oversimplification, but you just have to keep thinking positive. Today's the day. This is the at-bat. This is the pitch. So you start dwelling on all the negative things that have happened, and there certainly have been enough negatives in the early going this year. You will find yourself in a hole you can't get out of.
Slider, and Fukudome was able to hold up just in time. You start to feel like in an inning like this, the only place to hit it is over the wall. With McCutchen and Church both making excellent diving catches. Quick check on Fontenot. You had Pierce's catch near the dugout. You had Church's throw yesterday at the plate. And there's no question the Pirates have helped themselves a lot with defense in this series. Fastball in tight. Starlin Castro on deck. They play for Millage, 3-2. To see some ground balls tomorrow night, Bob. Aaron Cook and Randy Wells as the Rockies come in.
If those two guys are on top of their game, you should see a bucket load of ground balls.
Right-hander Jolice Chacin and Carlos Silva on Tuesday, and then, as we mentioned, we hit the road for 5 through Philly and Texas. Carlos Silva will go into his Tuesday start 4-0. The 3-2 cold foul.
He needs a shift beater here, either right down the right field line again like he did on his triple yesterday, or try to split that gap in right center. He can get something from Meek from the middle of the plate in, trying to pull that ball.
Pierce playing a little bit behind Fontenot. Will be going with the pitch. Ground ball through. Fontenot keep on moving to third. And a 2-out single by Fukudome.
It's a very well-placed ground ball that time from Fukudome. A lot of top spin. That thing gets through the infield and past Bobby Crosby into right field. And Fontenot, as you said, on the move, easily went first to third.
So Joe Kerrigan is out. That's Lopez, who was throwing earlier. He's just watching from a catcher's position.
Well, unless we see a pinch hitter somewhere between now and Mike Fontenot's spot again, there's no left-handed hitters in the Cubs lineup. That's probably why he's just waiting to see if Lou Piniella. Well, we don't have any left-handed pinch hitters other than Coy Hill, the switch hitter. So I think Lopez could probably have a seat over there.
Castro trying to extend his on-base streak. He's been on every game in the majors to this point. 8 and counting going into today. He has not yet hit a ball out of the infield. Just missed. 97 on the gun. Meek wanted it, didn't get it. 1-1.
That's a good take by the youngster Starlin Castro. That is a pitch you're not going to do much with anyway, so you might as well take it and hope the umpire calls it a ball until you get to 2 strikes.
Kicks away. Fontenot coming, and he will get in. It's 3-2. And Kosuke now at second, representing that tying run in scoring position.
Ryan Doman with a very half-hearted attempt at a backhanded play. That ball was over near the left-handed batter's box. Just kind of reached across his body, wasn't able to come up with it, and the Cubs sneak a run closer with a runner in scoring position.
Meantime, 2-1 on Castro. That run charged to the starter Ohlendorf, who had walked Fontenot to begin the inning. Right down Main Street. Yoshi Nakazawa, the Cubs massage therapist, is the bat boy today. If you're not careful, Bob, you get caught in the clubhouse late one day, you might be down there. Will Castro swing at it? Apparently not. 3-2.
Well, we talked about it throughout this series. His shortcomings defensively behind the plate will give you some opportunities. Ryan Doman with another half-hearted effort on a breaking ball away. Unfortunately, Kosuke could not advance on that one, but you need to be on your toes running the bases, and Ryan Doman's behind the dish.
They stand here at Wrigley, 40,636. Three and 2 in a 3-2 game. Runner at second, 2 down. Here's a pitch. Scalded foul. Still 3-2 on Castro. Here it is. Bouncer up the middle. Cedeno can't make the play. Kosuke holding it third. Castro safe on an RBI, rather an infield. Oh, I guess it's an error on Cedeno. Thought it might be an infield hit. Here comes Derek Lee.
I thought off the bat that one might sneak up the middle of the field. A hanging breaking ball that time from Meek, and Castro just tomahawks it back up the middle of the field. Cedeno got there in good shape. He just badly misplayed that ball. Climbed right up his left arm, hit him in the chest, and dropped harmlessly to the ground up the middle of the field. I just wish that ball would have gotten a little further away from Ronnie Cedeno that time.
So they're at the corners. An error on Cedeno. One and 0 on D-Lee. Cubs tie it as Fukudome scores on the Derek Lee RBI single. It's 3-3. The Cubs finally getting to Evan Meek.
It doesn't always have to be a home run or a ringing double to do some damage. This time just a ground ball through the left side to tie the ball game up. Move Starlin Castro into scoring position here for Aramis Ramirez. The Cubs with an opportunity to take a lead with another one of those ground balls. Find a hole.
Well, the Pirates defense, which had come up huge earlier this inning, helping the Cubs get a run. Cedeno kept the inning alive with the error. And Aramis with a fly ball. McCutchen calling, catching in left center, and that's the inning. But they get 2 to tie it up. We go to the 8th. It's 3-3. Let's check in on today's Honda CRV game summary. 2-run single by Lasting's Millage made it 3-0 Pirates early. But the Cubs have now scored more than 2 for the first time for Ted Lilly. 3-3 as we get into the 8th. Visit your Honda dealer, test drive a 2010 Honda CRV. Here's Sean Marshall in a tie game against Andrew McCutchen. Called strike. D. Lee tying it up. It was an unearned run after the Cedeno error.
Sean Marshall immediately facing the best right-handed hitter in this Pirates lineup, but he is followed by Ryan Church, a left-handed hitter, Ryan Domet, a switch hitter that you would much prefer to have to the plate as a righty. So Sean Marshall is the guy here in the 8th.
It is 0-2, and he gets McCutchen to wave at a breaker.
Well, then we talk so much about the Sean Marshall curveball, and it's as good as there is in the game, but that slider has been a very improved pitch for him. He's been able to use it just like this against righty. Starts it over the plate. It ends up at the back foot. He gets a lot of swings and misses at that pitch.
Church with a ground ball that's surrounded by Castro. 2 quick ones. Florida completed a 4-game weekend sweep of the Mets, 10-8 the final. The Mets have now lost 5 in a row. And they're 4-12 on the road. The Brewers and Phillies will play later tonight in Milwaukee. The Brewers are 4-13 at home. They've dropped 5 straight. Carrasco and Hanrahan up for the Pirates. Pierce on deck. A 2-0 on the way to Ryan Domet. Cutter for a strike. Missed that time. It's 3-1. Minnesota finally beat the Yankees 6-3 in the Bronx. Ball 4. He walked him. I think it was 12 in a row for the Yankees over the Twins, including last year's playoffs, before the Twins got today's game. See our broadcast setup here. And all kinds of paperweights and everything in case the wind kicks up. Two-out walk to Ryan Domet. 1 strike to Steve Pierce. The Cubs got 2 in the bottom of the 7th to tie the game. Slider strike. Tried the same pitch that he used to get McCutchen, and Pierce wouldn't bite. Tough one to lay off, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Sean Marshall has shown he can throw it for strikes when he wants to. He can throw it off the plate inside and low when he wants to. Looks so tantalizing coming up there. He's kind of spinning near the strike zone. You think he can get a good hack at it, and then there's a lot of late movement.
But don't forget the 7th when Lilly escaped a 2-on nobody out jam. Got some help from Kosuke. Made a tumbling catch in right. The Pirates were trying to bust it open and could not. Ground ball to Ramirez. He'll take the toss to second, where Fontenot beats Doman. 3-3, bottom 8 coming up. A brand new weekly podcast after the game. You can find it on WGNTV.com. Still waiting for the completion of our podcast studio.
Tough economy right now. We had to prioritize our expenditures, and the podcast studio got shoved way down the totem pole.
DJ Carrasco is on to face Marlon Byrd.
Carrasco with an inning of all zeros in the ball game yesterday.
He likes a lot of work. Sweeping breaking ball, missed the target. It's 2-0 on Byrd, who has a couple of hits, a single and a double in 3 tries. Came in tied for the league lead in hits with his teammate Ryan Theriot. Couldn't get the high strike. 3-0. Carrasco asking Paul Nart where it was. Home plate umpire saying it was too high. That one was right down the middle.
Yeah, probably won't see it now that he's behind in the count to Marlon Byrd, but when he gets ahead in the count, he likes to drop down, throw sidearm, he throws submarine from time to time.
Byrd pops it up. Pierce again gets over to the dugout railing quickly, but this one's behind the visitors' dugout. The Cubs want is at least one here in the 8th, and then the closer gets the 9th. Cedeno comes in. There's Marmol in the Cubs pen.
He'd love to push across one more run and give him a save opportunity, but it's not out of the question that we'll see Marmol pitch the 9th inning anyway. Many managers use their closer to save a tie at home.
There's a base hit for Soriano as Church gets it back in. Second hit of the day for Alfonso. He's done a lot of damage here at home this season.
RBI double in the second. He walked in the fourth. And now his second hit of the game, a soft line drive into the gap in right center field.
Came in at 375 at Wrigley Field. Fontenot, a key leadoff walk in the seventh. He would score the Cubs' second run. Out to left, Millage for out number 2. That's from our vantage point out here in the Bud Light bleachers, just to the left of the batter's eye in center field. Batter's eye lounge, the juniper bushes. And we get a great view of all the action. Fouled back by Soto. One and one to Gio. We are still waiting to see who's going to hit next. If Gio gets on, Xavier Nady gets away from Domit, and Soriano's going to head all the way to third, and Domit slipped as he tried to make the throw to third. A two-base, calling that a stolen base, wild pitch. I guess he was going.
A bad hop on that ball in the dirt, but a very half-hearted effort once again by Ryan Doma. We talked about it just an inning or so ago. Very shaky defensively behind that plate. And Soriano took a peek after he got to second base, realized he could make it to third.
Well, Soriano was on the move, so steal and then a wild pitch. So he gets two bases.
One more slider in the dirt over in that left-handed batter's box.
Go-ahead run at third base. 2-2 on Soto with 2 outs in the 8th. Here's a pitch. Another one almost got by the catcher.
A little better form that time by Ryan Doman. Got the glove turned around the other way. Actually caught him on the inside of the right thigh. That one very nearly got all the way through.
With 3-2, and he took the slider low and outside for ball 4. We'll bring up former Pirate Xavier Nady. Nady without a hit in the pinch. He's 0 for 9. Swing and a miss. We will see Marmol in the 9th. As Nady is batting for Marshall. kick and a 1-1. That was a hanger.
Woo. That's one you want back as a hitter. That one comes with instructions. Keep your shoulder in, keep your eye on the ball, don't overswing. Oh, man, right there, belt high inside part of the plate. Well, it has to be in the back of your mind as a pitcher if you're thinking about wasting a breaking ball in this situation, whether your catcher can stop it from going to the backstop or not.
Drops down, and that is way outside. 2-2. Soriano at third, Soto at first. And a 3-3 deadlock. The pitch. And a right base hit. Cubs lead 4-3. Xavier Nady comes through. His first hit in the pinch as a Chicago Cub, and it might be a game winner.
Boy, nice battling at bat. He got a pitch to hit earlier in the sequence. Worked the count, finally got a pitch actually on the inside part of the plate. That was an inside out swing. Thinking about going to the opposite field the whole way and drove home the go-ahead run.
That'll be it for Carrasco. Javier Lopez coming in to face Fukudome, with the Cubs leading 4-3 here in the 8th, and we'll be right back.
It's amazing what a couple of $5 bills will do.
Lefty Javier Lopez. And to face Kosuke. Cubs already have the lead. Sidewinding lefty, strike one.
It's going to be a tough AB for Kosuke right here. Wouldn't surprise me to see him try to bunt for a base hit. Lopez with that low sidearm delivery, the big sweeping breaking ball. It's going to be tough for any lefty to hang in there against Lopez.
Cubs have their first lead of the day. As we look ahead to the 9th, Pirates will have Crosby, Cedeno, and a pinch hitter against Carlos Marmol. Now, remember, Garrett Jones didn't start today, so I have a feeling he has his batting gloves on.
I think you're probably right. And Jeff Clement also yesterday hit a home run to the opposite field against Carlos Marmol. He's a guy we may see as a pinch hitter there in the 9th inning.
Fans are up for most of the game, mainly because we're standing in front of them and they can't see. Still 2-2 on Fukudome. They have been gracious hosts all afternoon. You would think we choreographed it, but it's just the natural turn of events out here. See, they like us a lot better when the Cubs are ahead.
Yeah, they weren't cheering for us earlier.
In the dirt, it's full.
All right. Well, the rest of the ballpark is going to take its cue from the bleachers. Everybody on their feet now.
Ground ball, slowed down by the pitcher. Crosby picks it up and throws out Fukudome. We will head to the 9th. Marmol on to close them out. 4-3 Cubs. Carlos Marmol just hasn't had a lot of save chances this year. He is 5 out of 6 as he faces Bobby Crosby to begin the 9th. Look at that slider. Crosby missed it by a foot. Oh, 0-2. Get a pinch hitter. Delwyn Young for Cedeno, and then probably Garrett Jones after that. Pirates have gotten good production out of their pinch hitters lately. 96 on that fastball.
And Delwin Young in the on-deck circle, a switch hitter. He's 5 for 16 as a left-handed batter off the bench. Only 1 for 2 as a righty. So this is a situation John Russell likes to use and get him up there as a left-handed hitter.
Carlos with a 1-2. Fontenot to Lee. 1 out. Well, we haven't had to put on the rally caps today. The Cubs were able to tie it in the 7th, take the lead in the 8th.
Not today.
This is a better look. So here's Young. Slider outside. You see Garrett Jones in the background. I want to face him with nobody on. 2-1. Detroit beat Boston 5-1. So they're still just a game and a half out in the division. Normal back in it, 2-2.
The disappearing slider.
Swing and a miss. 2 down.
Not even close. Those last 2 swings by Delwin Young. Totally fooled by the movement and speed of that slider.
So it's Marmol against Garrett Jones. Fastball away. Jones is 10 for 21 against the Cubs this season. A homer, 10 RBIs. Marmol's 1-0 is low. Here's a pitch. And when he's needed a strike down in the count, he's thrown the slider. 2-1 on Jones. Clement, who homered off Marmol, is in the on-deck circle for Millage. John Russell's not going to save anybody on his bench today. Missed that by about a foot. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. He got him on a slider. Bell tie. Cubs win. They come back late and beat the Pirates for the first time this season. The final today, Cubs 4, Pirates 3.
In the National